Let's get started for today. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm here today to introduce you to Meegle, which is a solution designed to streamline your workflow, improve team collaboration, and enhance productivity. So, whether you are managing complex projects, coordinating across different locations, or simply just trying to keep your tasks organized, I think this tool will make your life much easier. So today I'll walk you through some of its key features, show you how it can really transform um, the way you manage your projects, and discuss some best practices so we get the most out of today's session. So let's dive in. Let's briefly check the agenda for today. I will start today's session by providing you with a general overview, introduction to Meegle, learn where it comes from and the story behind its development, and how it really transformed to the product we are seeing today. Then we'll dive into the product itself as uh, as I'll introduce the product structure and design. Following would be some of its highlights, which means that some features that you might only find in Meegle and not elsewhere, and other unique functionalities that you might find interesting. And then I'll end the session with the current plans and features, and following a Q&A session to see if there are any questions. So let's get started. So the first part would be, what is Meegle? A brief introduction. Meegle is a professional project management platform tailored for complex scenarios, which enables efficient collaboration within the organization with standardized workflows and drives project success. And I want to introduce a bit with Meegle's background, like how the tool evolved to the tool that we are seeing today. It was actually first designed for internal use for the Chinese version of TikTok, which was called Douyin. In particular, the team faced three challenges during its project management journey at first. So the first challenge was inefficient collaboration among different team members. At first, the team didn't really have a unified project management tool. For example, for roles like product manager, design, R&D, quality assurance, etc., each use different tools. So project members has always had always to rely on a lot of meetings or point-to-point communications to align information. And the R&D of Douyin also had a super meticulous process, which means that when these processes lacked precipitation in the past, it becomes even more time consuming to carry them out. And the second challenge was that they lacked a reusable solution for complex processes, meaning that when there was no unified tool, it really forces the team to repeatedly reinvent workflows, leading to inefficiency and longer timelines. Without standardized solution, we waste so much time, and knowledge sharing is also quite limited at first. And the last challenge that the team faced was the difficulty to onboard new team members. The team at first experienced a rapid expansion from several hundreds people to several thousands of people at the beginning. Every new team member had to learn the complex process from the very start. It was both time and human the time and human resources devoted to onboard these new team members was extremely high at the beginning. So that was the main challenges that the team faced, and let's see how Meegle provided the solution to tackle these challenges. In particular, Meegle provided three solutions to tackle these challenges. The first is that the tool offered a unique knowledge-driven workflow, which clearly deposits the task division of each role in every stage into the process and presenting the daily work details of each person through various modes. Uh, and the second challenge was tackled with also the standardized workflow, but with customizable configuration, which means that we can provide a valuable solution for any processes, and even more complex scenarios are supported by more open platform capabilities. And the final challenge was the difficulty to onboard new members. And here, Meegle supports it all in one platform, which means that you can create a group through one click. Uh, Automatic notifications are also directly pushed into the relevant group. Task tracking, stage reviewing, bug tracking, and everything is evolved into this one platform. And in this term, it's very easy and to onboard these new team members with a relevant low cost and maintenance cost as well. And I want to talk more about how the product actually works to support these scenarios. So, uh, Meegle works in a structure of three layers, which are known as space, work item, and instance. So a space is a collaborative workspace for your team where projects and goals can be defined. For example, a marketing team can work in one space while, like, let's say, the sales team can work in another space. And a work item under a space, it is a collection of item breakdowns of the projects. For example, work items for a R&D team can be divided into features, issues, tasks, version, bugs, and sprints. And then under each work item, we can create individual tickets to track the detailed data. And let's demonstrate this product structure from Meegle's official site. So if you go to Meegle's official site, meegle.com, and click on templates, you will see all the templates that the system has prepared for you. And according to your industry, you can choose templates that best suits your scenario to help you get started quickly. And for example, if we go to a marketing uh, template, we can see that this work item under this marketing plan space is divided into features and assets hubs, which manages features and assets accordingly. And you can always create new assets, which are known as creating new instance or creating new data here in Meegle. And that is a little bit about space. Let's go ahead and take a look of work items. So work items in Meegle, there are two types of work items. They are known as units to organize work. And in Meegle, you can either choose to create a node-driven workflow or a status-driven workflow. So what is the difference? Node-driven workflow is, I would say, it focuses more on the overall process, so we clearly see the correlation between between each node and their connection to another. And for a status-driven workflow, it focuses more on the current status and what we can carry the status to the next stage. So, for example, if we go back to a Meegle space, and then let's create a new space with a marketing template. Let's name it e-commerce team. I will show you a bit on how to create workflows here. Just wait a second for the space to be created. Now, since this space is created, we can go to space configuration to configure our workflows. And if you click on work items, let's create a node-driven workflow to manage, for example, customer voice in our e-commerce team. Let's name this and select node-driven workflow, and then customer voice. This is the ID for this work item type. And then let's click on create. And here, if you go to workflow management, you will see that there is a default workflow, but only with one node. And then we can define our process by, for example, the process starts with us receiving an email, receiving email. And then depending on the inquiry, we can either assign an agent or we can generate an automated reply. And then after this step, we can go ahead and close the ticket. And we can always link this node to this, so we have a complete process here. And of course, this is a super simple workflow demo that I just made, and you can always build a much more elaborated process based on your customized needs. And we can go ahead and click on save. And then if we will see that this new work item type called customer voice has just been created and showed on the navigation bar. And we can go ahead and create, for example, email from Jessica. And here we have created this workflow with a specific email as we just configured in the backend. And now we can, I want to show you a node-driven workflow, a status-driven workflow, and how that works. For example, let's use this to manage storage. And then let's choose status-driven here. And similarly, we also go to workflow management, and we can see that the default storage type was set by the system with 3 statuses known as not started, in progress, and ended. And we can always adjust these or delete or add new ones. For example, if I want to add a new status, a new stage called reviewing. And we can have in progress can be changed to reviewing, and then reviewing can be changed to ended in this case. And let's go ahead and save this change. And if we go to this new work item type and create a storage 01, this is how a status-driven workflow looks like. And we can always change the status to, for example, in progress. And when it becomes in progress, we can change it to reviewing, which was the new status we just added. All right. Now let's go back to here. After getting to know like the basic structure of the product, I want to introduce you to some of the highlights that Meegle provides. And the first is, of course, a node-driven workflow, which includes tailored workflow and the templates I just showed you and customized nodes. And let's go back to another demo space. For example, if I go to a demo space for a software development team and click on work items, and let's adjust a features workflow. And because in the process of project management, it's always about who, what, and when. So for example, we have a role called well, actually, let me just show you here. So in the role management part, we can see all the roles that are involved in this features process. And for example, we have a role called front-end developer, and some features might not even have a front-end developing node, or they don't. The process itself doesn't need front-end developing. So we don't want this role to always appear, and we don't want the node to appear either. So in this case, we can customize the workflow according to whether the role appears or not. And for example, if I want to connect the node front-end development with the role front-end developer, we can add a condition to the node here that when the role contains front-end developer, this FE development node appears. And if we save this change, and then let's go back to a new feature, UI redesign 01, and select tech feature. We can assign a business line as well, and then click on create. And here we can see that front-end developer, this role has appeared. But if we decided that, oh, actually this UI redesign process that doesn't need this role, we can go ahead and just unclick this role, and then the corresponding node will disappear as well. It sort of works like a switch, so that you can decide well, either what node will appear when, depending on roles and also fields as well. And the next highlight I want to address here is data display. And in Meegle, we offer various view modes. And for example, views are sort of like a collection of how we want to display our data. So if we go to the main table, this is the default. This is the default table view that we all see, and on the right side corner, we can see that there is a total summary of the feature numbers and also the overall progress. So if we click on the top right corner, there will be 5 modes for us to switch, which includes Kanban, Gantt, tree, and measure. Each can be used in different scenarios. So for example, if I want to view all my tickets in a card mode, we can switch to Kanban. And in this case, all the tickets that we just defined can be presented in a card view. And we can always adjust the fields that appear on this card by clicking on View Display Settings. And then we have all the card items, the fields that we created. And then, for example, I want to see the attachment here. You can just drag this onto the card and then save the change. And then there will be a field to upload your attachment here. And in terms of managing time, we provide two view modes to assist on this. If you want to check the time from each ticket's perspective, we have a Gantt chart. In which you can see each ticket and the scheduling of the ticket. For example, we can see that this AI service intake started its initial review on August 30th. Scheduling is provided here. So if we want to add a schedule, we can go ahead and fill in a schedule for the knots, so the expected time for each knot to be completed. And then if you do not want to view this from a tickets perspective, we can always view it based on each member. So if we click on member schedule on the navigation bar, we can see that we can choose our team members and then to see their scheduling during a certain time period. We can adjust the time frame here on the top left corner as well. So I think this function is very useful when it comes to, for example, we have a 10-minute morning meeting every day to quickly go through what each team member has scheduled for today. And then we can also adjust this by just grabbing this bar and then update the time. And a more advanced view mode would be viewing data from multiple work items and multiple spaces as well. And in this case, Meegle provides two solutions. The first one is a tree view, which you can, let's go back to this feature track. And then still on the top right corner, we can switch to tree view. What does a tree view mean? Tree view is a way of presenting work item associations so that we can view these work items in a hierarchical order. So that, for example, in my software development demo space, I have features, and under every feature, I have bugs that are correlated. And then, for example, there are also tasks related to each feature. And if we save this level, we can clearly view the correlation between each work item. So we can see that, for example, under this UI redefine, I have 3 bugs under it, and then I also have 4 tasks under this work item, this feature as well. I think this is a very convenient way to track the overall project progress. And another solution besides tree view is that we provide a panorama view, which allows us to view data from more spaces and more work items as well. Let's create a panorama view, for example, all features. And then I can select feature from my space, and maybe I want to check the storage for my e-commerce team as well. I want to view them all together. And then let's click on sure. here you will see that this view would include all the data from both spaces. And if you click on the top right corner, the 5 view modes are also available in this case. And after getting to know views and how we display data here, I want to introduce more highlights, which is the first would be integration with various platforms. So as a tool built within Lark, we have all kinds of integration with Lark, including, for example, sending notifications to Lark groups and also creating feature related groups as well. So how does that appear here would be, if you go back to this main list, and then we have a action bar so that you can always quickly create a group. And if you click on this, it will click on this, and after the group is created, this little button will change to join group chat so that members can join this group chat anytime. And then for notification wise, we have a function called automation. And if you go to space configuration automation, we can always create a new rule or view my current rules. For example, here I have a rule called bug deletion notification, which means that when bugs are deleted, notification will be sent automatically to this relevant group, and we can choose members as well. So for example, I want to let the creator know when the bug he or she created just got deleted, and a notification will be sent directly to this person's Lark message box. And for users who log in with Google, we also support creating a Google workspace, a Slack workspace directly in Meegle. And also, if you are using other platforms, you can go ahead and upload your data from other platforms through space configuration, data management. And here we see the access to import data either from Excel or Jira so that you can quickly migrate your data to Meegle. And the next highlight I want to address is risk assessment, because during a project journey, of course, we always want to keep track of the potential risks that we can have. And in this case, we also have several solutions. For example, Meegle has a plugin system so that if you make certain changes, a approval process can be initiated directly on Lark, or you can intercept the change as well. So that, for example, I don't want this bug to be deleted, and you can always intercept this change to prevent the risk. Or if you want to get more detailed on the process, you can also initiate a approval either on Lark or on Meegle. And a second one would be tracking the progress risk through field management. So that, for example, let's see, I think I have a project progress list here. So here we can write all different kinds of calculation formulas so to keep track of the project progress. And this formula will turn into this field here on the front end. So we will be able to see the percentage completed of the project and to see if it is expected. And if it's not expected, we can always have a point-to-point communication with relevant stakeholders. And these stakeholders can be found here with relevant roles and stakeholders. And then the next part would be data privacy. So how Meegle provides data during a project journey. And in this case, we also have several ways. The first would be view permission, so that not everyone can view, can have the access to my view. And if you go to view list, for example, let's go back to this feature track. And for example, I don't want people to see that I'm currently working on a voicemail features, and I don't want people to see that I'm looking at this view. And if we click on the three dots here and then click on information, we can always adjust the visibility of this view to either all, or we can appoint members. And then the second way, which is also a more common way to adjust data privacy, is through user groups here. So in user groups, we can control who can view what ticket or what field. So for example, PM team. Let's create a new user group called the PM team. And then we can add users by departments or members. And then on the top bar, we can see that we can adjust the data access here. So if we add a rule, let's see, I want all my features to be visible to my PM team, but I want issues to be all invisible so that whoever are added to my PM team will not be able to view issues in this space anymore. And similarly to field access, we can always add permissions to fields. So either choose to mask certain fields or open certain fields. And also the scope of action refers to whether they have the permission to create new features or to delete features. And these are all super customizable. With this. Let's see if I've covered more. And also, I've mentioned open platform several times. And what open platform means is that in Meegle, you can always add more plugins to sort of customize your need, because of course the system cannot cannot predict all the needs that you have during your journey, so that we provide open APIs so that you can self-develop plugins as well to meet your need, and you can attain all the information through Meegle's help center later, which I will attach the link in the description bar later. Now let's go back, and after checking some of its highlights, let's briefly check the plans and features for Meegle. And this is also accessible if you go back to Meegle's main website, and then you can see all the features that come along with different packages. So for example, the panorama view that I just mentioned are only available to this premium version. And it has a super detailed table of what's included and what's not included. And of course, after you join the Meegle community, we will help you with all-time customer support, and also help you to adopt to the platform, and also join the community through Discord, which I will also post the link later in the description bar of this video. And let's see if there are any questions. Yeah, I will post this video later onto the YouTube channel as well, and also add all the links that I've just mentioned to the description bars as well. So if there are no further questions, I think I will wrap up the session here, and in later sessions, I will be introducing more on the advanced configurations. For example, how to configure the level in the tree view, and how to create space association, how to create work item association, how to apply automation rules to more practical scenarios, and that will come later. So if no further questions, I will wrap up the session here. Thank you, everyone. Bye.